Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and we give you the non-biased information you can use to make informed decisions and hopefully capitalize on the next bull run. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about tokenized assets. And there's a lot of misinformation about who's going to dominate the rails of tokenized assets and how that's all going to work. And a lot of people are claiming some of the ISO tokens and the banking tokens are going to get the lion's share. Well, guys, we're going to talk about that. And I think you would agree, no matter how things plan out, you need to understand the game you're playing and the big picture. So we're going to talk about the big picture of what I know to be true, and I challenge anyone to prove me wrong. And guys, please do your own research. The more research that you do on your own that's valid, direct from the source, the more we'll get along and we'll appreciate each other and hopefully learn from each other. I learn an immense amount from the comment section when I get people that have actually done some research, not people that have just read the headlines or listened to a couple of hyped up influencers that told them that their $1,000 is going to buy them a jet in the near future if they just keep watching that channel and keep stacking their favorite project. But anyway, guys, this is an immense amount of information and we're going to go through it pretty fast, but you got to understand the big picture. And then we're going to talk about 4 projects that are going to capitalize on tokenization of assets, no matter how it pans out. So anyway, guys, hit that like button, share with like-minded people, and let's get into it. Now, guys, what you're looking on the screen is just one estimate of what's going to happen between now and 2030. That's 7 years. They're estimating that there's going to be $275 trillion worth of assets tokenized basically into Web3 on the blockchain. Most of it will be on blockchain. And I think it could even be bigger than that because in the next 7 years, the Fed is going to cut on the printer and money is just going to be devaluated just like it has been for the last 100 years. And it's going to get faster because of our debt. Anyway, I went through and I talked to Claude for hours about it because all this information has been building over months. It accumulates. And I wanted to make sure before I shared it with you guys that I was on the right track. Now, I could talk about this for hours and hours. I could spend literally 10 hours proving it to you. But hopefully, guys, if you watch my channel, you'll understand that I'm pretty straight to the point. I'm non-biased. I don't shill and I don't FUD. Everything that I say, I can back up. And at any time, call me out. I'll go live on anyone's show to have that debate. That's how sure I am of what I say. Now, I don't debate to be right. I debate to be correct in my thinking because, guys, I take my money and investing immensely serious. And I highly recommend you guys do too because hope and hype, that is not the way you make money investing. So anyway, guys, here's what I'm going to tell you about the big picture. And I think you all agree. If you're going to be in crypto and if you're going to invest in anything, you need to understand the game you're playing, who you're playing against, and what the big picture looks like. That's step 1 in my opinion. And from the day I stepped into crypto, I knew for sure that the legacy banks, Wall Street, and the governments, primarily the U.S. governments, are going to pick winners and losers. And I've been behind the scene, guys. I used to work for Bear Stearns way back in the day, and we were a direct competitor to JP Morgan. We thought we were bigger and badder than they were at the time. Now, I've seen behind the curtains of what that power looks like, and I'm here to tell you, this is the first time in history that average people, retail people, have been able to front run Wall Street and the banks. In history, guys, it has never occurred. I want you to think about what I'm talking about. The 20-year-olds, developers primarily, that got into crypto 13 years, 14 years ago now, if you got in from day one, they have made an immense amount of money. And so you got a 20-year-old making millions, hundreds of millions, some of them. People like Vitalik came out of nowhere. Look at the FTX, Bankman-Fried. I mean, guys, he's like the youngest billionaire ever. And you got people like Jamie Dimon and Wall Street going, wait a minute. What? What is this about? So obviously, they've taken notice. And they've realized, wait a minute, why doesn't Vitalik work for JP Morgan? Why doesn't he work at Bank of America? Why doesn't he work for the Fed? How did he create this stuff without us? We're going to put a stop to that. We're going to take back what is ours. That's the way they think. And guys, I hate this, but it's true. And they have a plan, and they have been implementing it. And I've been guessing about it for about a year and a half. But now, there's no denying it. The only reason people don't know what I'm about to share with you guys is because they haven't done any research to what the legacy banks are up to. They don't go to JP Morgan's website. They don't go to Goldman Sachs' website. They go to listen to influencers talk about XRP, for instance, going to take over the world and go to, $10,000. Well, guys, if you call yourself, for instance, an expert on any blockchain, wouldn't you think that part of being an expert is, tell me about your competition, right? You got to understand who we're competing against. So, I research all the bank tokens, for instance. I own every one of them. I had a bad concept about a year and a half ago. I was thinking the banking reset was a real thing. And that when that so-called flip the switch happened, that it didn't matter which token won. I'm going to own them all. That was some bad thinking. But I believe the hype from all this misinformation. And guys, it's endless. Because 20, 50, 100 influencers will still tell you what I'm saying is wrong, which I challenge any of them. Bring me on your show or I'll come on mine and we'll debate it live. They won't do that, I promise you. But here's what I'm saying, guys. The future is going to be dominated by the same people that dominate it now. The flow of money, payments, DeFi, the metaverse, you name it, corporate America, the legacy banks, and the U.S. government are going to dominate it. Period. They have a roadmap. They have a gaming plan. They weaponize the SEC. That's what all this is about, guys. And here's their ultimate goal. We're going to take back what is ours. And I see this happening every day. They say, well, okay, y'all were staking, y'all were doing DeFi, you were doing cross-border payments, whatever it is, hey, let's take that away from them. And the number one thing, believe it or not, because they've got the payments taken care of, people don't want to believe that, but it's true. They're not going to miss a step. They're going to dominate even more. But tokenized assets, like this chart says, guys, $275 trillion to be tokenized. It's not, and I repeat, it's not going to be tokenized on your favorite banking token or ISO20022 Compliant token. Period. Now, they are going to get their share. But here's why I know this to be true. First of all, I've read the white papers and the roadmaps, and I've seen what their game plan is. And it's unbelievable powerful. But you got to think, guys, they already have these relationships. You're not going to steal customers from JP Morgan, for instance, that's been around for 150 years. And think about it, guys. They process like 9 to 11 trillion dollars a day. And right now, I believe about 2 trillion of it is on their private blockchain. No one can even touch that. So how are they going to get disrupted? They are further along in the process than the disruptors, and they have all the customers. Well, hear me out, guys. When JP Morgan, when all this gets legitimized and regulated, where they can start tokenizing assets, they're the ones that have the assets, guys. They have the customers. They're the ones that have the bonds in custody. They're the ones that have the big hedge funds that they're going to tokenize. They have those assets under management. When tokenized assets happens, JP Morgan is going to start tokenizing the $11 trillion they have under management. Well, guys, they're not going to tokenize it on my platform or anyone else's. They're going to tokenize it on where they benefit the most. I almost guarantee you that, if there's a guarantee. And none of this financial advice, but guys, you got to understand the big picture. Now, why am I really trying to drive this home so hard? One, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And if you think, for instance, that there's going to be a banking reset and your favorite banking token is going to do 1,000x or 10,000 or 1,000,000x from here, which a lot of people will tell you, you're not going to sell. Well, guys, they are going around us and behind us and through us. So what we thought was going to happen from the disruptive technology, guys, they're changing it. Tokens, guys, how they going around it? They're going ledger to ledger with atomic settlement. This isn't a guess, guys. This is a fact. You can see it if you just do your research, and please go do it. It's called atomic settlement, and there's 100 different ways to do it. But atomic settlement is where you just tokenize an asset, tokenize money, tokenize another currency, whatever it is, and then you tokenize what the exchange needs to be on the other side, right? If you're going to send Swiss francs for the deed to someone's house, you tokenize them both, and you send it on a private rail where no token is needed, and then DLT, primarily technology, a ledger, no token needed, transfers and makes it happen. That's the future, guys. So it's not bad news, it's just reality. Now the good news is there's 4 tokens that are going to do really well no matter how it plays out, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. And all of my banking tokens that I own, they're going to do well. I'll be selling every single one of them in this bull run, and the odds are I may never buy them back for the preceding bull run. I don't know. Time will tell. But I think they'll still do well, but they're not going to give me that life-changing money. They're probably going to do 10x, maybe a couple of them 20x, 25x, but that's probably where it stops. Anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit of proof, just so, because I know people do it or need it. But guys, I could stand here for 10 hours and document over and over and over. But if you just do some research, go to JP Morgan's website, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, USBC, go to their website, look at what they're doing in crypto and their game plan, and then you'll understand, dang, this isn't going to play out like you may have thought. Now, as you know, I use Claude. Claude's a game changer. My level of knowledge has 10x, and I absolutely love this project. It's Claude.ai. Anyway, I did a deep dive, and see, I take all my information that I think is true and factual, and then I ask Claude about it to have Claude verify it. Well, we were talking about tokenized assets, and I literally had about an hour and a half conversation with Claude, and from literally 100 hours of research over months and months. And anyway, we talked about tokenized assets, and R3 and XLM and XRP came up, etc., etc. So I said, look, basically explain to me atomic settlement and what you see happening with tokenized assets, and are private blockchains like the banking tokens, are they going to be needed? Are they going to be used? Now, I know the answer, but I'm going to share what Claude said. Claude says, shared ledger platforms like Corda allow institutions to create digital tokens representing assets like stocks, bonds, cash, etc. And guys, Ripple is a world beater company, great company. And when you hear Ripple's news, unfortunately, 90% of it has very little to do with retail XRP, just like you hear R3 Corda and XDC. Very little transfers over. But I'm here to tell you, as much as I like Ripple the company, and it's going to be a great stock to own, but R3 is way out front of even Ripple. It doesn't have an XRP Army, but I'm telling you, every single bit of research I do, R3 Corda is in the mix. Almost all of it when it comes to finance. Anyway, for whatever that's worth. But it says, these tokens can be programmed for atomic swap settlement between parties on the network. Settlement occurs directly between the institutional participants on a private ledger. No need for public token like XLM or XRP to facilitate the transaction. Now, this is a non-biased AI saying this, guys. Now, a shared ledger replaces messaging middlemen like SWIFT, and it provides a common record. And this can achieve advantages like faster settlement, reduced costs, and transparency. But all taking place on a closed enterprise blockchain network between known parties. No interaction with public chains required for core settlement of tokenized securities or cash. So it basically says, once assets become tokenized or shared institutional ledgers, they can achieve atomic swap settlement without needing to leverage public blockchain rails or tokens. It can all run natively on the enterprise platform. That's it, guys. Now, I also ask it about how FedNow plays into that, and this is how I got these 4 projects. I'm not going to get into it, but it basically said, look, they're going to need some interoperability between networks for the most part, always. And anytime public blockchain is involved, they will need an interoperability gateway. And so it talks about Polkadot, Cosmos in a big way, Chainlink, and one of my favorite is Quant. So guys, no matter how this game plays out, these 4 projects are going to have that interoperability. But just understand this. And again, I challenge anyone to prove me wrong that's lying to you guys. Call them out on it or don't. It's your money, guys. I say that with love. But look, the future is going to be dominated by the same people that are dominating now. Like I may have said, JP Morgan has 16, they process $9 to $11 trillion a day. Good luck catching them, guys. And they have a roadmap that's immensely powerful. But anyway, when this all plays out, hopefully we can front run it by buying projects like this. Now, when you look at Polkadot, guys, Polkadot I thought initially when I first got into crypto that it was going to be maybe the true Ethereum killer. The founder helped create Ethereum. He's immensely smart. Their technology is great. But guys, it's been lagging behind, and it hasn't had the adoption that I thought. But it could be a sleeper because there's still a lot, and I mean a lot of development on there, and no one ever talks bad about its interoperability capabilities. But we haven't seen anything, so we could see some big enterprise move into it, and this thing could finally get its day. Now, if you look at where it's at right now, I mean, this thing's just been straight down from the bull run. But in the last 24 hours, it's up. The last week, it's up. In the last 30 days, it's up. And let's see about the last 90 days. Nope, it's down. But it's starting to bounce off this bottom. As far as bouncing, guys, and whether we're in altcoin season, a lot of people are saying, look, because every one of these projects, guys, have had a good rally in the last month. Every one of them. But except for, say, Chainlink, I think it's because people have been shorting these projects, and now they're getting to the bottom, getting close to the halving, getting very close to bull run. They took their profits. And if you're familiar with how shorting works, you basically sell what you don't own. So when they buy back, that pumps the tokens. I think that's what's happening now. Now for me, I'm not looking to buy DOT right here, but like I said, I think it's going to pull back, probably go back to the lows of the year, and I might start stacking. I'm probably going to swing trade almost every project I talk to you about for the rest of the year, because I feel confident that every one of them will have just some good news come out once the bull run starts, and can do it 2-3x like in a week. And I'm out, and I keep moving on. Now, Cosmos. This is their 90-day or yearly. For the whole year, it's down. I don't think it's going to hold right here. 90 days, though, still down. 30 days, it's up. Weekly, it's up. And it's up today. But I think it's in the same boat. And if you look at like Bitcoin dominance against Polkadot and Cosmos, it could be finding a bottom, but it hasn't broken out like, say, Chainlink has done. Now, Chainlink, this thing's had a good pump in the last 30 days, and I wish I would have stacked more. And it was making me very suspect because, guys, I've made a lot of link videos, and just for whatever it's worth, the reason people don't like to tell you the truth and tell you about projects that don't get a lot of hype and that aren't really, big across social media is they don't get a lot of attention. But I was starting to get suspicious of how is it that Link is the most dominant, not even close, banking token out there. When it comes to payments, guys, Link has the most adoption. It's not even close. They are the only one with a true partnership, direct partnership with SWIFT. And guys, it's the gateway. No matter what, all those ISO tokens that are going to be linked are an option to go in and out of SWIFT. They're going to get their share, but there's going to be thousands of tokens. They're going to go through Link's gateway to get to SWIFT. And now Link, with their ICCP protocol, allows that atomic settlement with tokenized assets. No other tokens needed, but they'll still be using the gateway of Chainlink. And guys, I'm here to tell you, a lot of people say SWIFT is going to go out of business, or Ripple's or XRP is going to take over SWIFT. No, it's not even close, guys. SWIFT is like New York City, and the banking tokens, the ISO tokens, are like the toll bridges or the roads going into New York City. SWIFT is still New York City. It's not going to be taken over, period. Now, it may be in 25, 50 years, I don't know, but I'm talking about the next 10, 15 years. It's going to be more dominant than it's ever been. That being said, when Chainlink pulls back, I'm probably going to at least swing trade it or start stacking more. I own all of these tokens. Now, Quant. Let's talk about Quant, and I just made a video about it, and I'll leave a link at the end. Quant's one of my all-time favorite projects because of its interoperability, its team, the founder. He's immensely smart. He's really connected. He's honest, in my opinion. And it has some of the best tokenomics in all of crypto. But I already bought between $55 and I think $65. So I trade bull run to bull run, and I pretty much, for most, not all, I am going to dollar cost average out when they start to hit their all-time highs. Now, for Quant, that's about $400. If I buy at 100, that's only a 3 or 4x. I don't want any of that. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Quant went to 1,600, even 2,000, 2,400. I wouldn't be surprised at all. However, the way I think is it's not going to lead this bull run. No way, shape, or form. None of those tokens are. But they're good, solid blue chip to make maybe a 10x and move on. That's my game plan. Because no matter what, guys, when, for instance, Quant, buying Quant at $100 and placing the bet that it takes out its old high and it has basically the same tokenomics it had in the last bull run is as close as thing as a guarantee as you're going to get. So I hope we have some reason for it to collapse, and I'll jump in and load the boat more. But I want to show you something at $100. Since January 4th of last year, if you bought every time it got to $100 or below and sold it, you would have had, I don't know, you'd have 5x your money. Like, just goes to 100, sell it at 105, sell it at 110, right? Buy it back. Do it again, buy it back. Well, guys, that's exactly where it is right now. I just made a video the other day, literally, I think it was about right here, and it was at like $105, $6. Well, it's back at 100. Guys, that's a big move. That's 6%. Well, I'm probably going to start stacking it again, and it's actually moved down more than 6%. It went to $96. That's a full 10%. Hey, that's a good trade when you have that type of support. So when you look at it, guys, historically, there's a ton of support. Look at that. All through there, all the way this entire year. Anyway, that's my thought process. I'm not looking to stack Quant at $100 and ride it above, way above, and see if it can 2, 3, 4, 5x its all-time high, because I think there'll be other projects. But for me, and I love Quant, and I may buy Quant every bull run as long as I'm in crypto, I don't know. But my plan personally for all my tokens, every single one of them, I will be 100% out after this bull run's over, except for my Bitcoin. And it's possible I hold a little bit of Ethereum. We'll just see how that plays out. But guys, whether you have, if you don't have a game plan to take profits in this bull run, please do some research, do some homework, find someone to help you. I do coaching. It's one-on-one. I'll leave a link with my email if you want some information. It's really inexpensive, and I think it has a high value. It's not financial advice, but we go through your portfolio, get you a game plan and a strategy to take profits and how to compare any token you want to buy between now and then. And we take away the FUD and the FOMO and the panic. So when all this craziness, and it's coming, like you want crazy, you haven't seen crazy. But when it does, guys, the people that don't have a game plan, as I've learned from my coaching students, they've taken a small amount of money in multiple bull runs, some of them, and made a pretty substantial amount. And they have nothing to show for it because they fell for the FOMO, right? Like if you think Quant's going to $2,000, why would you take profits at $500, even $800? But what if it pumps to a $1,600 and you think, and you're holding out for $2,000, for instance? What if it goes to $1,600, then it pulls back to $1,200, and everyone's telling you, oh, buy the dip, it's going to the moon, buy the dip. And you don't do anything, then you wake up, it's at $900, then boom, game over. It falls like a rock, just like the rest of them, and you're like, man. But if that happens to me, hey, I caught my 7, 8x, maybe 10x, and I was out, and I got rid of that risk. Now, yes, this could happen, and it's going to happen. I got a lot of tokens. It's going to happen constantly. I'm going to sell out at the all-time highs for most of my projects, or real close, or just after. I'm going to kind of read it. I'm going to dollar cost average, so I don't know how long I'll hold it, but I won't hold a big bag in none of these once they've hit their all-time high. Now, yes, Quant may hit 3,000, and people go, oh, look at you, you sold out at $600, $700, $800. I'm good with that because I didn't carry that risk over, and I'm a swing trader. I love to trade. So guys, I want you all to understand, if you don't take profits, you'll become the profits. Don't watch your bag swell and get greedy and say, I'm getting a Lambo, when you already have, a new Porsche, right? Don't think you're getting a jet when you can buy maybe a plane. Take those profits. I say that with love. It's not financial advice. But guys, get a game plan. Please, it comes from the heart. That being said, let me know what you think about this video and the big picture. Because guys, I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, they're going to take as much of this pie from us, and they're probably already 30-40% of dominant that we don't even understand, and it's going to be 50% before probably the bull run. And guys, I would say within 5 years, 75% of everything is dominated by the JP Morgans and Black Rocks and Consensus and the Googles of the world, unfortunately. But hey, guys, we got plenty of time, and once you understand that, you'll know how to front run it and how to decide which tokens to buy, hopefully when to sell. I highly recommend, guys, bull run the bull run. We have no idea. Guys, we got quantum computing coming out. It may take out all these blockchains. I don't know. Regulation can take out most of these blockchains. I don't know. You can clone any of these blockchains, guys. Look what Coinbase just did. I plan on owning a lot of the layer 2s because I think that's going to be a really hot narrative. They cloned, was it OP or Arbitrum? I can't remember which ones. I think they cloned OP, Optimism. They cloned it, literally. It's called Base. It's a layer 2. And when it first launched, within a month, it had a week where it did more transactions than OP and Arbitrum combined. Now, it didn't maintain that, but guys, it's already one of the top layer 2s. And guess what, guys? No token. We can invest. That's what the future looks like. You can buy Coinbase, the stock. You can buy JP Morgan, but all that money that runs on their blockchain, the JP Morgan coin, it's a private coin. We can't own it. It's just a mechanism. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Let me know what you think. And no matter what, guys, come back and be part of this community because I'm here for you. And I promise you, everything I tell you has merit. Take care, guys.